Looks like NIO managed to deliver another week of 10,000 plus vehicles in a week, and this is a great piece of news because 2 more weeks like that and NIO will have its record-breaking month in October. Right now we are hoping for around 40,000 vehicles delivered in October. I will explain later in the video why this number, and I will explain also why I'm saying maybe manage to deliver around 10,000 vehicles, because we will not have exact numbers anymore. NIO CEO had his quarterly meeting with his management and he made some motivational speeches there, but the important news is he had reiterated his stance on 150,000 vehicles delivered in Q4 and that NIO is looking to achieve profitability in Q4. Another interesting thing he said in a meeting, we will talk about this later in the video, is that maybe in Q1 next year, new investors, you will have a pretty rough time. We'll talk about this. And the most surprising news this week is that NIO have a new supporter or hater, depends on how you look at it. So Jim Cramer from Mad Money had some things to say about NIO this week. So basically he said that NIO will go to $10 per share and then everyone just needs to stop and sell everything they have. I cannot explain how inaccurate Jim Cramer's predictions are. I will give you a few examples later in the video, so stick with me. Hello and welcome to the Market Monkeys channel. My name is Vadim. Today we are talking about NIO. We did a lot of research to put in this video, so we are asking you to like this video back and to subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed yet. So let's start with the deliveries. The goal is to deliver in Q4 150,000 vehicles. This means, and someone wrote about this in the comments, that NIO needs to deliver 40,000 in October, 50,000 in November, and 60,000 in December. Now, this information, I haven't found the official source of it yet, so take it with a grain of salt. So let's focus on these 40,000 vehicles which NIO has to deliver in October. This means that NIO has to deliver around between 11 and 12,000 vehicles weekly. This week NIO managed to deliver more than 10,000 vehicles. Why I'm saying this in such a weird way? Usually when we have weekly numbers of deliveries, they are based on Chinese registration numbers from insurers, and these numbers are reported by various Chinese bloggers, and usually they come from the same source. Now this week apparently we don't have these numbers, and these bloggers are citing that because of tighter regulation we may not have these numbers anymore. So the estimate is that NIO had delivered more than 10,000 vehicles. Again, this is good. This is pretty much according to the plan. We are still waiting for 2 last weeks of October to kind of see where we stand with this goal of 40,000 vehicles delivered. NIO CEO had his quarterly management meeting. He has these every quarter, and every quarter he kind of sets the goals for the rest of the 3 months. So this quarter he had said some things about cost cutting, about quality, about delivering stuff, but what interests us is a couple of things. First of all, he's doubling down and reiterating on 150,000 vehicles in Q4 and the profitability. I will talk about what this means, what this profitability means a little bit later. For now, let's focus on what he said. So one interesting thing he mentioned is that NIO has to sell and has to deliver as much as possible in Q4 and needs to take as many orders as possible in Q4. And why is that? It's because he's expecting Chinese government to drop the subsidies for electric vehicles next year. So he's expecting that Q1 will be rough. So what this means, guys, for you as investors, it means that, let's say in Q4 NIO is profitable, hitting all the delivery numbers, and the stock just soars. Do not be alarmed if the stock pulls back in Q1 and if Q1 has worse numbers than Q4. We are kind of expecting it, and NIO CEO is kind of readying everyone for this. So let's talk about fun stuff. Jim Cramer, you may know him as the host of Mad Money, you may know him as the guy from all of the memes from Wall Street Bets, and you may know him as the worst predictor in pretty much Wall Street history. So he had some things to say about NIO, and he said that NIO, I don't know, man, the stock probably will go to 10, and then you absolutely have to sell the stock. Now, please, I don't know what your stance on NIO. If you love the stock, if you hate the stock, if you're just researching it for yourself, please do not listen to what Jim Cramer has to say, and please do your own research and your own thing. So just to remind you, Jim Cramer is the same guy who in 2008, when he was asked whether investors should be worried about bear stearns, he said, and I quote, "No, no, no." 5 days after he said his no, 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 the stock went down 93%, and bear stearns, well, we know what happened then. So throughout the years, Jim Cramer had a lot to say about NIO. He said that everyone should buy NIO, and NIO is, I quote, Tesla killer in 2021 when NIO was $50 and $60 per share, and last year he said that nobody should touch NIO when NIO was like $3-4 per share. So again, take everything he said with a grain of salt and don't be alarmed by everything that you hear on Mad Money. And one more thing I wanted to talk to you about is the profitability. So everyone is talking about NIO achieving profitability in Q4, and there are a lot of aspects to profitability because it's not a well-defined concept in finance and in valuation. So you can mean a lot of different things. You can mean profitability on P&L, on profit and loss report. You can mean profitability in cash flow, for example. You can have profitability in one quarter, in 1 year, throughout the years, GAAP, non-GAAP profitability. So when NIO said we will be profitable in Q4, what the hell do they mean? And they mean profit and loss, non-GAAP profitability. So now I will explain in a few words what does GAAP and non-GAAP mean. GAAP stands for Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, something like that. So you can see in financial reports two different numbers, one for GAAP, one for non-GAAP. Non-GAAP means that the company excludes from its reports any one-time profits or expenses which they have. Usually it means it shows us a better picture of what is going on with the company, because let's face it, NIO can have a horrible quarter in Q4, for example, and on the last day of Q4 they can go and sell one of their huge factories and make a lot of money out of it. Does this mean that NIO is profitable? Well, of course not, but the P&L will show a positive number. So NIO management wants to become profitable on non-GAAP. So if we're excluding any one-time expenses or one-time profits. So basically, if you are trading NIO stocks for day trading or swing trading, again, NIO stock is amazing for that because it moves a lot. The volume is here and the stock is pretty violent, so everything is good there. If you are investing in NIO, if you are a short-term investor, Q4 is kind of exciting time for you, because the company, against all odds, trying to achieve profitability in Q4, and nobody believes that they can. Every single financial institution on Wall Street, nobody believes them. And we have talked about this a lot in the previous video. Like, the most optimistic ones are saying that 2026 will be the year when NIO will finally achieve profitability in one of the quarters. We have talked about this in 2 videos ago. Usually the street is kind of thinking about 2027 for NIO profitability. If they manage to achieve that in Q4 2025, the stock will fly and it will be just something amazing. If you are a long-term investor of NIO, you don't care about any of that, right? So you don't care if they achieve profitability in Q4, Q1, Q2 next year, or like in 2027. You're just holding the stock, buying more, and you don't care about any of the stuff. So one thing I want to leave you with is beware of Q1 next year. As we said, Q1 will be rough. Sometimes Chinese government are not saying anything about the new subsidies until the beginning of next year, so they never kind of publicize year ahead about their subsidies, and this was the case in 2025, so this year, and this was the case in 2024, last year. So again, if they are not continuing with the subsidies for EVs, Q1 will be rough because a lot of people will go and try to buy as many EV vehicles in November and December this year. So in January, February next year, the demand just won't be there. Like the capacity for production from NIO and other EV makers probably will be there, but the demand won't be because everything will be bought kind of by the end of this year. That's all I have for you today. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.